Good morning. Ever wonder if you can invest in gold, real hard, tangible gold inside your Fidelity 401k? You are not alone. With market volatility and inflation worries on the rise, more and more retirement savers are asking, can I diversify with precious metals in my 401k? And if I am with Fidelity, how do I do it? In this webinar, we are going to break it all down. Before we dive in, please subscribe to our channel, like this video. It helps us reach more entrepreneurs like you. Also, go ahead and shoot over any questions you have during the webinar, and we will pause and answer those questions as they come in. They can be questions surrounding solo 401ks, IRAs, and even traditional 401ks. And the questions can be regarding any topic regarding retirement accounts. It doesn't have to be specifically surrounding today's topic, which is, can I invest in gold in a Fidelity 401k, also known as a gold solo 401k? All right, I don't see any questions at the moment. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to cover today is, can you hold physical gold in a Fidelity 401k? What about gold exchange traded funds or mutual funds? Why most 401ks do not allow direct precious metals, and what your options are. We're also going to talk about how a solo 401k can open the door to physical gold, silver, and more. We'll also answer questions about any tax implications. Looks like we've got a question here. Let me pause here and we'll take a look at that question. Again, go ahead and shoot over questions that you have while we go over today's topic, and we'll pause and answer those questions as they come in. So here's a question. I am getting ready to sign up for the solo 401k. I also want to set up an optional LLC. Well, at some point in the sign-up process, will I have a human to speak to directly? Good question. You can certainly invest the solo 401k plan directly in alternative investments like real estate, precious metals, and equities. In other words, you are not required to use an LLC in order to have checkbook wire control through a solo 401k, because those features are already built into a self-directed solo 401k plan offered by my solo 401k Financial. The LLC, otherwise known as an IRA LLC, checkbook IRA LLC, is more for a self-directed IRA, because self-directed IRAs do not allow for checkbook control like a solo 401k does. In order to get checkbook control through a self-directed IRA, you have to utilize what's known as a checkbook IRA, aka IRA LLC, which we also offer. Nonetheless, we do offer the solo 401k LLC for those individuals that do want to invest the solo 401k in an LLC, resulting in the solo 401k plan being the sole member of that LLC. And we do charge a separate fee for that service. Let me send you a link over from our website that talks about the solo 401k LLC. Yes, you can always schedule a call with my solo 401k Financial. That way we know which department to have you speak with regarding your particular circumstance. You can also ask questions live on the air, like we do here every morning. We have a daily webinar. You also may email us your questions. I'll go ahead and shoot over the link where you can schedule a call as well. Let me shoot that over now, and then I'm going to shoot over a link to the Solo 401k LLC, which again is not a requirement, but we do offer that service for our clients, those that do want to invest in a LLC where the Solo 401k is the sole member. Give me a moment and I will share that with you here. That link here. All right, I just went ahead and shared those couple links with you. Good question. Again, go ahead and type over your questions as they come in. We'll pause. Our topic for today on the daily webinar is, can I invest in gold in a Fidelity 401k, otherwise known as a gold solo 401k? So let's continue here. So investing in precious metals through a solo 401k plan is very common, especially when there's concern regarding inflation, a downturn in the economy, an increase in tariffs. So people like to invest in precious metals to diversify and hedge against inflation. Typically, advisors out there advise to not invest more than 10% of your old retirement account portfolio in precious metals. So that's something you would want to discuss with your financial advisor, as we don't provide investment advice nor tax advice. Instead, we are solo 401k and IRA experts, where we can educate you on the rules and regulations surrounding solo 401k plans and IRAs, whether the investment regulations, distribution regulations, contribution regulations, in short, any type of compliance regulation. We've been in the industry for a long time, and we've actually been in business for over 15 years. So we're probably one of the premier solo 401k, especially self-directed solo 401k companies in the space. And we have seen quite a few companies come and go through the years. But we've been around for a long time. But again, go ahead and shoot over any questions you have, and we'll pause and answer those questions as they come in. So investors like to invest in precious metals, as I mentioned earlier, to diversify, specifically diversify away from the stock market. So when you invest in precious metals, a lot of individuals out there are not aware that you can hold precious metals through an IRA or a solo 401k plan. We're going to hone in on solo 401k plans today. As far as Fidelity is concerned, we do offer a self-directed solo 401k plan that allows for investing in precious metals as well as equities. And Fidelity also offers their own solo 401k plan. However, a solo 401k offered by Fidelity does not allow you to invest in physical precious metals, so the actual bars and the coins. Instead, Fidelity solo 401k simply allows you to invest in certain precious metal exchange traded funds, for example, and even precious metal or metal stocks. However, Fidelity does provide a brokerage account known as a company retirement non-prototype brokerage account for solo 401k plans offered by a company like my solo 401k Financial. So even though Fidelity offers their own solo 401k plan, they will provide brokerage accounts for a solo 401k plan offered by my solo 401k Financial that does allow for investing in precious metals, whether it's silver or gold for that matter. So if you sign up for a solo 401k from my solo 401k Financial, we will help you also to open up the brokerage accounts at Fidelity for the plan that we offer. Then we'll help you transfer IRAs, former employer plans, or even if you have an existing solo 401k with Fidelity already, we can restate that plan over to our self-directed solo 401k, and you can continue to use Fidelity for the brokerage accounts for the solo 401k that we offer, and then help you move that existing Fidelity solo 401k internally over to the brokerage accounts for the plan that we offer over at Fidelity. Subsequently, you'll be able to invest in exchange traded funds that deal with precious metals, and you're going to be able to wire money out of that Fidelity brokerage account for the solo 401k offered by my solo 401k financial for investing in alternative investments like real estate, but also precious metals. So you would wire those funds, or you can write a check instead. You would wire those funds to the metals dealer, because the funds have to flow directly to the metals dealer from the 401k brokerage account. So now they would issue a receipt, and the metals would be sent to you as the trustee of the solo 401k plan for storage in a safety deposit box at the local bank. So you cannot store those metals at your home, but as the trustee of the solo 401k plan, you get to choose the depository taking institution to hold those metals. So those metals, again, cannot be held at your home, your office. They have to be held with an approved depository taking institution, such as your local bank, and a safety deposit box where solely the metals are stored in that safety deposit box, along with any other assets belonging to the plan, like a recorded deed if you invest the solo 401k in real estate. You just cannot also store your personal assets or belongings in that same safety deposit box. So as trustee of the solo 401k plan, the regulations allow you to choose where to hold those metals at, as long as they're held with the depository taking institution like a bank or your local credit union in a safety deposit box. People prefer to hold those metals in a safety deposit box at their local bank instead of using some institution like Delaware Depository that tends to just throw all your metals in a pallet and store it with everybody else's metals. So that way you don't know if you're actually having your metals separately stored, or if, for that matter, what happens if Delaware Depository loses your metals. At least with the safety deposit box in your local bank, you know that those metals are solely held in that safety deposit box for your solo 401k plan, and they're not held with other people's metals. So that's how you can invest in precious metals through a self-directed solo 401k through my solo 401k financial, and you can use Fidelity Investments to hold the funds for the solo 401k offered by my solo 401k financial in one of their brokerage accounts. And then that's possible because Fidelity is not providing the solo 401k plan. My solo 401k financial is. Fidelity is just simply holding those funds, and then you can invest in equities, and then you can also invest from that same Fidelity brokerage account in precious metals, as I already stated earlier, by sending a wire out or by writing a check. All right, looks like we have another question here. Let's pause and we'll come back and pick up where we left off. Let's see here. We've got a question here. It says, I have an S Corp and want to make after-tax contributions to my solo 401k. When I ran the payroll, my payroll company took the net wages from my company bank account and deposited them in my personal bank account. However, ChatGPT says that I can't use the funds from personal account. The only valid legal process is to withhold the after-tax contributions within the company bank account as part of payroll, and then use those withholdings to fund after-tax contributions. Is that true? Well, number one, that's why you can't always depend on ChatGPT. I mean, ChatGPT is a tool that you can use to get general information. It's like going to ChatGPT to find out my medical condition before I go to the doctor. I'm going to do a little research, but ultimately I need to go and see my doctor to make sure that my situation can be diagnosed appropriately or analyzed appropriately. Same case with any type of information you're looking for, especially if we're dealing with the regulations surrounding retirement accounts, whether an IRA or a solo 401k. So number one, a solo 401k plan can be sponsored by a sole proprietorship, partnership, or S corporation. Second, it's how your tax, it's the contributions to the solo 401k plan are going to be based on how your self-employed business is taxed. If your self-employed business is taxed as an S corporation, the contributions to the solo 401k, whether employee contributions, employer contributions, or voluntary after-tax contributions, are going to be based on the W-2 wages that you receive from that self-employed S corporation. Third, the contributions to the solo 401k plan can flow directly from your business bank account, or they can flow from your personal bank account. What matters is that you had the darn W-2 wages to support the contribution. With respect to how it flows, that's not something that's got to be based on having it flow from your business bank account. So if you receive the W-2 wages from the S corporation directly to your personal bank account, then you can go ahead and make the contribution directly from your personal bank account, and then you want to make sure that you report those contributions on your business and or personal tax return, depending on the type of contribution. So let me go ahead and send over a link from our website that talks about how contributions are reported. But in review, what matters is that you had the necessary earned income from self-employment activity to justify the contribution. And then whether the contribution flows from your bank account or your business bank account, it doesn't matter. What ultimately matters is that you have the darn W-2 wages to support the contribution. Because what the government does when they do a soft audit is they're going to review your W-2 and they're going to match that up with the amount that you contributed to your solo 401k plan. They're not going to review your business bank account or your personal bank account. What matters again is that you had the darn W-2 wages to support the contribution. Okay, let me share a link here and give me a moment here regarding reporting contributions. So go ahead and take a look at this link here that talks about how to report contributions, because again, what matters is that you report those contributions correctly. There is a nice chart on that link I just shared that details step by step how to report each contribution type, whether on the 1120S, the W-2, or the Schedule 1, which is an attachment to your Form 1040. All right, let's see here. Again, go ahead and type over your questions as they come up, and we'll go ahead and pause and answer those as they come in. And please also like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel to help get the word out to other solopreneurs like yourself. So we've been talking about how you can invest a 401k in gold, such as silver as well, and gold, of course, so in precious metals. And you can do that through a Fidelity brokerage account for a solo 401k plan offered by my solo 401k financial. So let's talk about that some more here. We're almost done with our daily webinar for today. So again, don't confuse the Fidelity solo 401k plan with the self-directed solo 401k from my solo 401k financial. Because a solo 401k offered by Fidelity does not allow for investing in gold or other precious metals like silver. However, Fidelity Investments does provide what they refer to as a non-prototype brokerage account for a self-directed solo 401k offered by my solo 401k financial. And my solo 401k financials plan allows for investing in precious metals, physical precious metals. So we can assist you in opening up brokerage accounts at Fidelity for a self-directed offer by my solo 401k financial for investing not only in precious metals, but all other alternative investments like physical real estate, trust deeds, private equity. And you can also invest in equities, whether it's stocks, mutual funds, and even exchange traded funds. And the self-directed solo 401k offered by my solo 401k financial does come with the auto contribution credit, where the government is essentially subsidizing the cost of having a solo 401k plan for many years. The way the $1,500 auto contribution credit works is that you have to have a plan that allows for that, and the plan for my solo 401k financial does. If it does, you're going to be able to claim a $500 per year credit for a total of 3 years. So it's $500 for 3 years, resulting in a total of $1,500. So if you open a solo 401k with my solo 401k financial in 2025, you're going to qualify for that $500 credit this year. You're going to qualify for a second $500 credit in 2026, and a third and final $500 credit in 2027 for a total of $1,500. You're going to file Form 8881 each year to claim that $500 credit. It's dollar for dollar. You're not required to make contributions to the plan in order to qualify for that auto contribution credit. You just have to have a plan from a self-directed solo 401k provider like my solo 401k financial that offers such a plan. You can contribute in whatever amount you want up to the overall limit. The overall limit for tax year 2025 is $70,000. That's the overall solo 401k contribution limit. Okay, it looks like we don't have any other questions for today. We went ahead and answered the questions that did come in. We also covered today's topic. Until next time, have a great rest of the day.